We got a new Hogwarts Legacy trailer today, and it's safe to say it's one of the most beautiful trailers I've ever seen. So in this video, we'll be breaking it down shot by shot and going over some of the things you may have missed. The trailer starts off with an amazing look at an owl, and from this image alone, you can tell that the dev team has put a ton of work into the graphics of this game. I know this is a cinematic trailer and it's not necessarily indicative of the graphics of the real gameplay, but this looks amazing. A woman ties a letter to this owl's leg and says, "Take this, find them." And we get our first look at the inside of the owlery as the camera pans out and the owl flies away. This whole trailer is a journey that our friendly little owl is taking. We see a beautiful shot of the castle as the owl is flying through it, avoiding different castle towers and people on brooms. Flying straight through the front window into the Great Hall, avoiding some of the floating candles, we get another look at the stained glass window portraying each of the 4 houses, which doesn't look like it's changed since the release date reveal, it's just the opposite side. The camera pans down and we see 3 students practicing magic on a book. Natsai-Onai, Hector Jenkins or Weasley, whichever one he actually ends up being, and the 3rd student we can't see their face, but I would guess that it's either Everett Clopton or Sebastian Sallow. Maybe even an unnamed Gryffindor, since the 2 other students that we see on screen are both Gryffindors. We see nearly headless Nick nearly lose his head as the owl flies directly through him, which leads to possibly the most interesting scene in the whole trailer. We see a bunch of students surrounding Professor Matilda Weasley, who is the deputy headmistress and transfiguration professor of Hogwarts, as she stands next to the Defense Against the Dark Arts professor Dinah Hackett. They seem to be in the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom, and you can hear a few students saying, "Professor," or Professor Weasley, and she responds, "Please, we don't know what magic caused this." Now, she's right, we don't know exactly what she's referring to or what magic caused this, but we can assume that she's talking somewhat about ancient magic where something bad happened, as the tone of the music throughout the entire trailer is suspenseful. Something else interesting to note here is that there are some students wearing house robes, but there are also students wearing random outfits. This could possibly be attributed to some of them being either staff members like teachers, aides, or interns, or they could be older or younger students that are allowed to wear whatever they want. Maybe these students are just 7th year students that don't have to wear robes anymore. We then get another beautiful shot of the castle, but this time at night, as the owl flies into the Forbidden Forest, and we see possibly my worst nightmare, 2 students fighting off a bunch of acromantula or spiders. We get a new spell here in Glacio as we see the one spider freeze and the other student uses Incendio to burn another spider. A little bit of fire and ice action. The owl then flies to what seems like a poacher or villain camp as a masked wizard is saying, "Come on, settle down." I said settle, when he's trying to tame a hippogriff. This might be our escaped hippogriff Highwing as part of Natsai-Onai's questline. As the masked man sees the owl flying overhead, he casts Avada Kedavra at it. This alerts 3 other masked figures as they come out and also try to take down the owl using the same unforgivable curse. We've almost gone through a full day-night cycle now as the sun starts to come up and we see 3 new characters fighting off a dragon using Protego to protect themselves. I can't quite tell who any of these characters are, but the dragon looks like the Hebridean black dragon that we've seen in a few other trailers. The owl distracts the dragon, causing flames to come towards the screen, initiating a nice transition to a snowy cityscape where the owl drops a letter into a woman's hand. She catches it and begins to open it right in front of Big Ben, and the camera flips to her face and we see Hogwarts in her eyes as she's shocked by what the letter says. The narrator comes on and says, "Your legacy begins now. Hogwarts Legacy, live the unwritten." Some initial thoughts and takeaways I have after watching this trailer is that something bad happened either in or around the grounds of Hogwarts that have scared or spooked the teachers and students in Hogwarts. We know this based on the fact that there are 2 students fighting acromantula inside the Forbidden Forest, and we see other spells flying left and right, and we hear Professor Matilda Weasley saying we don't know what type of magic caused this. Not only do we not know what type of magic caused it, we don't know what was caused. We don't know what bad thing happened. It could possibly be our main character using ancient magic, Ranrock using goblin magic, or maybe even a less common form of magic being used, like being an animagus to attack a student. The 2 real big questions I have after watching this trailer are, who is the woman at the beginning of the trailer tying the letter to the owl, and who is the woman at the end that catches the letter and looks surprised at what the letter says? Is it possible that the woman at the end that catches the letter is our main character and we're being recruited late to go to Hogwarts because we know something about ancient magic? Now that would be a good theory. This is a beautiful cinematic trailer that showed some new shots of the castle and surrounding grounds, but nothing new at the same time. With that being said though, the combination of visuals, action, suspenseful music, and every little detail has me more excited to play Hogwarts Legacy than ever. If you caught something that I didn't mention, let me know in the comments below. And if you're like me and can't wait for Hogwarts Legacy, here are a couple videos to help you pass the time until the game officially releases. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.